In this video, we're going to be looking at driving around bends. Let's look at some of the warning signs you could get telling you that there's a bend coming up. This sign is telling us there's a bend to the left because the arrow goes to the left at the top. This sign is telling us there's a bend to the right because the arrow goes to the right. On this sign, we've got a bend to the right, and can you see there's a small part off to the left? That means there's a side road to the left. And this one means that the bend goes to the left, but there's a crossroad through the middle. Here we have double bend signs. The one on the left is showing you it's a right bend first, then a left bend. And the sign on the right is showing you it's a left bend first, then a right bend. If a bend is particularly bad, it'll be surrounded with a yellow sign. That tells you it's an accident hotspot. Sometimes you'll have chevrons like these. The more chevrons, or if they're surrounded by a yellow box again, this means that there's a greater danger. Here the chevrons appear to be pointing at each other, but they're not. It's just for each side on the approach, so that cars on both sides can see that it's a sharp bend. Let's look at this piece of road. I'm going to talk you through the vanishing point. The vanishing point is when you draw a line from the curb on your side and the curb on the other side as far as you can see. That point at the top, where the two sides of the road meet, is known as your vanishing point. If when you're approaching a road, that vanishing point isn't moving away from you, it means that the bend's tight and you're going to need to slow down. We've got another vanishing point with our eye line. Can you see the van over to the left round the corner? We haven't got a vanishing point here because the fields are open, so again we can see. So therefore we won't have to slow down as much. If you couldn't see the van round the corner, you would need to slow down. Can you see the chevron? So the chevron on the corner is telling us that it is a sharp bend, but because the tarmac's moving away from us and we could see all the way round the corner to the van, we probably only need to drop to fourth or possibly third gear. If we look at this next road, can you see the vanishing point at the top of the wall on the right-hand side? Can you also see that it's much, much tighter because we can't see, because we haven't got a visual round the corner either? Look at the trees, how they're blocking everything. What could be round the corner? There could be anything. Can you also see that the road isn't very wide? There's no centre line. So as we get closer to the corner, look at the fact that the tarmac isn't moving away from us. So the vanishing point is still quite tight and we still can't see through the trees. As we get even closer and the wall on the right hand side disappears, we still can't see through the trees or round the corner. Therefore this bend, unlike the last bend, is really, really tight and we would need to slow down to at least second gear. There's also no chevron on here, as it may have been fallen down or been knocked over. Let's go live now. So as we're approaching on this road, we've got a nice wide road with a centre line. This means that we don't have to slow down as much because cars on the opposite side shouldn't cause us a problem. We just drove past a slow triangle and a slow on the road. That's for this bend. Look at the floor. Is it moving away from us? Can we see round the bend? The answer is yes, we can, so we haven't needed to slow up very much. Wherever there's a slow written on the floor, look out for it on the floor on the other side of the road. That's when you'll know the hazard's finished, because the slow is telling the drivers on the opposite side to slow down for that same hazard. As we come round this bend again, can you see that the tarmac is moving away from us and we've got no trees or anything that's blocking our vision? Look at the sign. It's telling us sharp bend to the right, then the left, and we had a slow on the floor. Look ahead and you can see there's a chevron with a yellow border. That means this area is an accident hotspot. Can you see the tarmac isn't moving away from us that much? And because we've got a yellow chevron, we've dropped down a gear to second. As we come down the hill, there's then another chevron pointing to the left. When we come out, we're going to be looking again for that slow on the floor to tell us that they're telling cars in the opposite direction to slow down for that same hazard. And look at how the road is pulling away and we've got a lovely long straight. So therefore we can speed back up again because the vision's good and we can see the tarmac for a long period of time. As we approach the next bend, we're going to be looking for the warning triangle. So you can see across the fields to the right, you'd be able to see if anybody's coming. Can you see the chevron in the distance? See how the road markings, the white line down the centre of the road, gets longer as we approach the bend. Can we see round it? Yes, the tarmac's moving away from us. Also, the car coming the other way had got his own side of the road. See how those lines are going shorter again now that we're round the bend. Look at the sign here coming up. It's telling us that the main road goes round to the right. Look at the white lines down the middle of the road. Look at how they're getting longer now we're approaching this bend. Can we see round the corner? The trees are blocking the view a bit, but the tarmac appears to be moving away from us, so we didn't need to slow down that much. Now, where is the road going? We'll need to look at the centre line to see which way the road bends. Look at the centre line now. You can see the double line bends round to the right. There's a side road to the left, and we had to slow down a lot because the tarmac wasn't moving away from us. Can we see round this bend? Would we know if someone had fallen off a bike, or if there was a tractor round the corner, or a broken down car? Now that we're round the bend, we can accelerate away and look for that slow on the floor again. So remember, when you're running out of vision and you can't see the tarmac, always slow down. Look at how the trees are blocking your vision here. There was a sharp bend to the left sign on the left, and now we can't really see the tarmac, so we've slowed right down. Because we've got two sides of the road and there's a good centre line, that means that we haven't got to slow down quite as much as if we were on a single track road. If we were on a single track road, we've got to be really mindful of big vehicles that could be coming the other way. Now the road's nice and long and straight and we've accelerated away. Look at the sign coming up on the left telling us that the road bends sharply round to the right. Look at the hazard line down the middle getting longer and the warning triangle as we approach. Can you see round the bend? No, so slow down. Always remember to slow down on the way into the bend and accelerate out. Also, think about keeping to the left on a right-hand bend to give you better visibility. As we come onto this next road, we're going to get a driver's eye view as well. Look at the fact that there's no centre line down the middle of the road. The driver's just accelerated and changed up a gear because there's a nice long straight. Can you see the vanishing point ahead, and can you see the car that's coming round the bend across the fields? Therefore, the driver looks in the rearview mirror, slows down and drops down a gear, and keeps to the left as much as possible so that the other car can get past on this narrow road. Now there's a person in the road, so the driver checks the right mirror and moves round, looking round the bend the whole time. Now, because we can see that we've got a nice long straight, we can check the rearview mirror and change up a gear. As we come to this next bend, we can see across the field, so it's not that sharp. Then look at the warning triangle to the left, warning us about the next bend. So the driver checks the rearview mirror and drops down a gear because we can't see round the bend. Remember, we've got to be able to stop within the distance that we can see to be clear. So the driver needs to make sure that there isn't somebody round the bend. Now we can check the rearview mirror for the speed and position of vehicles behind and change up again. Again, look at this bend. The vanishing point on the tarmac is there, but we can see across the fields. So because we can see to the right, there's no need to drop down a gear. As we come round the bend, the vision then goes and there's a slow on the floor. So therefore, we're going to slow and drop the gear back down again, checking behind us all the time for the speed and position of vehicles behind. And that is how to drive a bend. Join us again next time.